this week's lore, if you want to hear any lore whatsoever, make sure you are in the Discord. Once a week, I ask a question. First person to get the question right in the lore question tab gets to pick lore for the week. This week, nobody picked. I had a homeboy from back home pick, and he picked Brian Virgil from Fallout 4. Now, Dr. Brian Virgil is a now super mutant living in the Commonwealth, in the Rocky Cave, in the Glowing Sea. Sometime before 2287, the year the game takes place, he was in charge of a project involving FEV and super mutant creation in the Institute's bioscience department. He was the head of it after a Dr. Syverson had passed away. He was conflicted with all the damage that he had done. This is literally everything that's on the wiki except for what I'm about to read. His background is very short, and it's kind of upsetting just because, you know, he's a neat character. He's someone in the Institute who was like, yeah, this is messed up. We can't be doing this. When he leaves after he sees all the destruction and death and hurt that he has caused to people, in the Institute, saying like, hey, we've killed these people. We've mutated them. We've turned them into what they are. The super mutants that are in the Commonwealth are a direct cause of whatever the Institute just kind of like let out. Distraught with all of this, Brian Virgil decides he's going to destroy everything. He's going to destroy all the computers, all of the research, everything he can to make sure that all of this progress is kind of gone so it doesn't happen again. Inside of the Institute, this is referred to as Incident V. He then would inject himself with a strain of FEV that would allow him to live in the Glowing Sea, knowing that the Institute wouldn't be able to get to him as easy. All of that happens, and the Institute knows where he is. They have an idea that, all right, he's in the Glowing Sea. I don't think they know exactly where he is, but they have an idea. And they have a plan to send Kellogg after him, which I assume was going to be... I didn't actually look into this because I didn't really think it was that important. I would assume it was going to be after the events that start Fallout 4 with Kellogg. They were going to be like, all right, now send Kellogg to go get Virgil. But it doesn't happen. Because he's dead. He's a dead man. Now, Virgil's also working on a FEV serum, which you can give him, and it will help in the reversing of the FEV virus. He's in 2 quests, one called The Glowing Sea and one called The Loose End. I get all of my lore off of fallout.fandom.com. If you get him the serum, there's 2 options. You can simply give Virgil the serum, and certain companions will react differently to each choice. Pretty much everybody but Dance likes it. You can also lie to Virgil, saying that the serum wasn't there, and the check's difficulty increases with each one. After the first 2 checks, the player character still has the option to give it to him. After the 3rd speech check, Virgil will request that the player character kill him, and Virgil's cure will fail. If the player has visited Swan's Pond and reads the notes there, they can ask Virgil if he remembers Edgar Swan. After the first speech check, this will lead to a medium speech check and to convince him to end his life. If you give him the serum after 3 days, you can go back to Virgil and he'll be human. You can fail the quest if you enter the cave in power armor with a targeting HUD on your helmet. If you just reload and take off the helmet, it won't fail. If you destroy the Institute, Virgil will confront you about it and be like, why did you have to let innocent people die? That's not part of the plan. That's the opposite of the plan. And he just doesn't want to talk to you, but he doesn't become hostile. Even though X688 gave the order to Kellogg to kill Virgil, if you go to the cave with X6, he doesn't do anything about it. He doesn't even bring it up. The Bioscience Division wears green lab coats, Robotics Division wears orange, and Advanced Systems wear blue, and Virgil doesn't wear, in any mutant or people, doesn't wear any of the colors of the department he was from. The 3rd entry on Virgil's terminal suggests that he's actually losing his memory and heading into madness, which is just kind of a side effect of being a mutant. The Nightkin the Nightkin were stronger mutants, but, you know, their dependency on Stealth Boys triggers the schizophrenia earlier. But In Fallout 3, the super mutants aren't of the smart variety, and they're slowly going more and more insane, just looking for food and other people to clone. Other people to dip into vats of goo and what have you. Even if you become director of the Institute and give Virgil the serum, he can't come back to the Institute. Virgil was previously bald, but if you give him the serum, it brings his hair back, which is super tight, from one bald homie to another. That's really about everything that I have to say on Virgil. On screen, most likely, will be his card from Fallout Shelter Online. I'm so upset we don't have that in the States or anywhere outside of China. But that's all I really have to say. He's a cool character. I wish there was more written about him. There's, small stuff. If you go there before you have to in the game, he's just not there. So to not break sequence and what have you. It's cool. I wish there was a little more. I wish there was a little more in the Institute. You could talk to people. Whatever. That's the problem with a voice protagonist. There, I said it. Gotta say it once an episode. I love you. That's lore.